And now I have the pleasure to invite on stage Mr. Nicolas Freudiger, co-founder and CEO of ID Watches Geneva, an EHL graduate from the class of 2015.
Merci. Good. Dear graduates, congratulations. Let us recognize resilience when we see it. After COVID, some quarantines, some masks, distant learning, you've made it to the top. And you're going to continue climbing up. Let me tell you about last week. Last week, I received a special email in my inbox. I was so excited. We're going to have the 10 years reunion next year in 2025, which makes me very old. But I was so excited, although I still don't know what I will be wearing. I think this is, some EHL moments. I can't wait to be back 10 years after with my camarade and party again. So less than 10 years ago, I was sitting where you're sitting today, and let's face it, I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do. So let me tell you a bit about my career path, and in the process, I'll also share some of the learnings I had. So after graduating in 2015, I started with Coca-Cola Switzerland with a graduate program. I decided to go to this path because of the manager that hired me, Christine, who's still, up to this day, one of my biggest mentors. I had the best position possible, the one of learning and getting paid to learn. And then, eventually, I took up the position of digital and e-commerce manager in Zurich. At 30, I asked myself a lot of existential questions, and let's face it, I did it because I was making enough money to ask myself those questions. And I realized that my job was to sell more plastic and more sugar online. So I looked myself in the mirror, and I thought, what am I going to think about my legacy when I'm retiring at 65? Hopefully, if we can still retire at that age. And then I said, I would not forgive me for not trying. I would not forgive me that. So I quit my job in Zurich, and as a good French-speaking man, I came back to the French-speaking part of Switzerland, because you've got to stay serious. And in Geneva, I returned to a childhood dream. I built a watch brand, and we wanted to be significant to an industry. I did it with friends I've known since the age of 4. And at 15 years old, we were talking about this watch brand. In 2011, when I started also at EHL, I was talking about this watch brand. With another friend from Lausanne, the three of us, we launched ID Genève Watches in December 2020. ID stands for New Identity in the World of Watchmaking. Did you know that 95% of the watches over 1,000 USD worldwide are Swiss-made? That gives us a responsibility to address the top 1%. And we decided to take this responsibility and this accountability. And today we're demonstrating that luxury and sustainable development can go hand in hand. And we offer exceptional products without compromising our planet. After 3 years, we've achieved many things: a B Corp certification, a first in the industry, a worldwide distribution in Switzerland, France, UK, and the US. Also opening Dubai and Abu Dhabi and India this year. And last year, we closed our first financing round with the participation of Leonardo DiCaprio. Let me actually tell you about that story. At ID Genève, we wear the conviction on the wrist. A conviction is the main ingredient to your charisma. It's the things that you believe in no matter what. In November 2021, I was interviewed by the New York Times, and at the end of the interview, the journalist asked me, Nicolas, what's your dream, the biggest dream that you have? And I actually answered, quite straightforward, we want to work with somebody like Leonardo DiCaprio within 2 years' time. And she said, well, that's crazy. I'm going to put it in the interview. Good luck. Again, it was based on a conviction. You know, we were convinced that we could work with him. And actually, 2 years later, after that interview, we managed to sign him as an investor of the brand. Not an ambassador, an investor of the brand, which actually makes it the most genuine relationship you can have, because he's not paid to wear the brand, but he pays us to wear our watches, which is kind of cool. I'd like to share some of the learnings through that journey of entrepreneurship. The first one is choose your first managers. You're going to go out today, and those first managers will have a big footprint on your career. So make sure you keep your values straight and you trust your instincts in this job interview. Remember to be a good person first. You will have absolutely ambitious goals, but never let that good person out of your sight. Surround yourself also with good people. Life is more beautiful that way. Visualize your next steps. This is very important. I always take the example of my dreams. I have actually 3. One is the watch brand, easy one. Second is a dance school, unusual one. And the third one is linked also more to EHL, is a chain of boutique hotels in South America. And I'm telling you them today because I really want you to be able to write them down. They might change over time, but the most important is to have them written down next to you. Stay ambitious. You're already EHL graduates, so stay ambitious. Work hard and have what I call a positive obsession. Positive obsession is, for me, something good. It's good to be obsessed when it's for something good. Be persistent and be a dreamer. That's how you create extraordinary experiences. So that's all the advice your parents probably heard also when they graduated. So what's different in 2024? What can I add up to that? Well, I want you to go out and pave the world with your daily positive contribution. Think about it like that. 1%. Give it out and pave the world with your positiveness. Be kind, a kind colleague, a kind manager, kind to yourself first, and foremost, consider kindness as a power and not a weakness. Be disruptive. The world as presented to you in your micro and macroeconomics class is only like that for the last 100 years. So question the status quo. And finally, you're the first and last generation to do something about climate change. Let me repeat that question, not that question, let me repeat that sentence. I think this is the most important sentence. You are the first and the last generation to do something about climate change. You may think this is a negative conclusion, but in the end, even the most traditional industries are opening their door to new business models. So dear class of 2024, question, dare, vocalize, and seize these opportunities. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Nicolas.